Hi everyone, this is Carol Ann Speaks, The State of Our World on Friday, April 16th, 2021. So what is it? Good, better, and different? All three. We have over 564,000 fatalities from this virus. People are still refusing to wear masks, practice social distancing, only go when they have to, and only socialize with those in their immediate household. And complaining, all because all because of Trump and his administration and his supporters refused to do anything when the virus became evident here back in 2019. It doesn't matter where it originated. Once it gets here, it's your responsibility. Trump said it's fake news. It's going to go away. It's like the flu. And he just refused to do anything, refused to make sure there's enough personal protective equipment and all kinds of medical equipment for the virus, and refused to institute a national lockdown, refused to use the Defense Production Act to make sure we had everything we needed. And he refused to wear a mask. He got the virus and he recovered supposedly. But once you have it, it's in your system and it'll come back. So he's being very careful there about this. So we're hoping that he will get his due. One of his supporters, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, is now refusing to wear a mask on the Senate floor, and he's a real idiot because the virus spreads through the air. It's not magical. So this virus should be called the Trump virus. Now, a lot of things are happening in the world. Uh, Dr. Fauci is our expert on infectious diseases, and he uh, gave a presentation to the Senate, to the House rather, and we are we know that we have 74,000 new coronavirus cases yesterday, Thursday, and over 900 new fatalities. Now, so we have a real problem. And in the House, Dr. Fauci gave a presentation, and Republican Congress member Jim Jordan got into a heated conversation with the senior White House medical advisor, accusing him of seeking to deprive Americans of their liberties by promoting mask mandates and social distancing. Well, I say to you, Jordan, idiot Jordan, would you rather practice social distancing and wear a mask, or would you rather be dead? Because it's a virus that does spread through the air. So you have to definitely obey the rules to protect everyone. So I think it's had nothing to do with liberty. It has to do with common sense. So that's that. Now, what else is happening out there? Now in India, a record 217,000 new cases have been recorded as millions gather for the world's largest pilgrimage. India has a new record with nearly 1,200 fatalities. Millions of people have been converging on the city of Haridwar for the Hindu festival of Kumbh Mela, the world's largest pilgrimage. At least 4 million bathed in the Ganges River over just 2 days this week. Prime Minister Modi refused to call off the month-long festival to avoid a potential backlash from Hindu leaders and his base. But he's rather worried about a backlash. What about the people who are going to get sick and die? Last year, Indian Muslims faced a torrent of Islamophobic hate after an Islamic missionary group held an event in New Delhi which was linked to a possible outbreak. So it's bad if the Muslims gather, but it's okay if the Hindus gather. Very, very sad. And in India is over 1 billion people live in India, so hope they get that straightened out because it's not good. India is a Muslim Hindu nation, but there's always been problems there. That's why Pakistan was created, so that Muslims could have their own country. And so they have Pakistan, but Pakistan has problems too. So anyway, that's India. Now, in Brazil, the Brazilian Senate is probing Bolsonaro's pandemic response as daily death toll remains world's worst. Oh, I thought we were the worst. Oh, well, the U.S. And so the Brazilian Senate has launched an investigation into far-right President Bolsonaro's disastrous handling of the coronavirus pandemic, as Brazil average daily death toll topped 3,000, the worst in the world. The president of the Doctors Without Borders said the humanitarian catastrophe is likely to intensify in the weeks ahead. And this Doctor Without Borders, Dr. Christos, each week there's a grim new record of deaths and infections. The hospitals are overflowing, and yet there is still no coordinated, centralized response. Health workers are physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted. So Brazil, Bolsonaro, you have to get rid of Bolsonaro and save the people, because this is not working out. Now, aid groups say Eritrean troops are not withdrawing from Tigray as crisis deepens. International aid agencies are warning the crisis in Ethiopia's Tigray region is worsening, and there is no evidence Eritrean troops are withdrawing as previously announced by Ethiopian Prime Minister Ahmed. Thousands have been killed since conflict broke out last November, and there have been widespread reports of rape. I take all the rapists and make sure they are killed. The UN says internally displaced people have started dying from hunger. This is in Ethiopia, and this is a Tigray region, and Eritrean troops are there, so it's a big mess. And it all goes back, a lot of it goes back to World War II, World War I, colonialism, dividing up the colonies, all kinds of stuff. So that's very, very sad. Now, this is interesting. Representative McCollum introduces bill barring Israel from using U.S. aid to violate Palestinian rights. Now, Minnesota Congress member Betty McCollum has introduced legislation that would bar U.S. aid dollars to Israel from being used to being used to suppress Palestinian rights and expand its illegal occupation of Palestinian land, McCollum told The Intercept. The $3.8 billion provided to Israel by the State Department has no country-specific conditions, despite Israel's systemic violations of Palestinian human rights. The bill is backed by Jewish groups, including J Street, If Not Now, and Jewish Voice for Peace. So good for you, Congresswoman McCollum. Yeah, Israel has been refusing to provide the virus vaccine, to Palestinians in the occupied territories of East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and Gaza. So Israel is definitely committing human rights violations. And if we give $3.8 billion to Israel, we should be giving $3.8 billion to Palestinians as well. We give them millions. Very, 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 very sad. But that's the way it is. Hopefully, things will get better there. I don't know if they will. Now, in general, President Biden sanctions Russia for cyber espionage while remaining silent over Israeli cyber attack on Iran. Yes, Israel has committed cyber attacks against Iran, trying to shut down its nuclear program. But Israel has its own nuclear program, so I don't understand the double standard here. And yes, yet no one in the U.S., Congress speaking out against what Israel has done. So I don't get it. Russia's definitely guilty. Israel too. I think Israel would like to start a war with Iran. I don't know why Iran is the bad boy, why Iran is so dangerous, and it's just like Saudi Arabia or not. So I don't understand. Well, Saudi Arabia is, we don't need their oil. Saudi Arabia is a Sunni Muslim nation, Iran is a Shia Muslim nation. So I don't know. I think Israel is nutty to be so against Iran, but doesn't say anything about Saudi Arabia. Very, very weird. Now, so that's kind of the way it is in the world today. Not good, but that's the way it is. We have one world to live in. If we destroy it, there's no replacement. So we really need to protect it. Climate change is bad. We have to make sure we prosecute, we tackle climate change and get things back to a better place. Also, we need to treat everybody with dignity and respect. We have a lot of problems with police violence towards minority groups, specifically people of color, black and brown people, and men in particular. We have a problem with gun violence in this country. We have a problem with police violence against minorities. If a white person gets stopped for a traffic violation, they will survive. If a black or brown person gets stopped for a traffic violation, chances are they will be killed by the police. Like, George Floyd, and then someone recently, Mr. Wright. And then there's a kid in Chicago, a 13-year-old boy who was shot by police. Still don't know all the details on that. But it seems like living while black or brown is very dangerous. We have to change that. Now, how about a little music to lighten the mood? Okay, the song I like to sing today is If I Had a Hammer. It is an old folk song. It was recorded by Peter, Paul, and Mary. It was written by Mary Travers of Peter, Paul, and Mary group. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer at a danger, I'd hammer at a warning, I'd hammer out a love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. If I had a bell to ring, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring it at a danger, I'd ring it at a warning, I'd ring it at a love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. If I had a song to sing, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing it at a danger, I'd sing it at a warning, sing it out of love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Now I have a hammer, and I have a bell, and I have a song to sing all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's the song about the love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Okay, that's If I Had a Hammer by Peter, Paul, and Mary. Hope you liked it. Thank you for tuning in this evening of April 16, 2021 for a meeting of Carolyn Speaks, the State of the World. I hope you'll be back again tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay safe, wear that mask, only out when you have to, practice social distancing, and only socialize with those in your immediate household. And remember, kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. Thank you. Stay safe. Good night.